Hi, welcome to Knits Up. I am Mindy, otherwise known as Knitter CNY, all over the place, including Ravelry. And there is a podcast group over there for people who are interested in joining. I think we have 72 or 73 members now. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Also, to let you know, I'm one of the people with Blip. They're normally my distributor of content. And they've sent out a notice saying that the Blip stream will not be on an RSS feed come February 28th. So what I'm going to be doing and attempting to do is record over and send a copy of the video over to YouTube. And I will let Blip know that that's where the RSS feed can come from. I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. So if you, for some reason, if you use iTunes and you can't get the podcast, look in the group and I'll try and start a thread once I get something going. I do have a Libsyn account as well. That's usually, if I post show notes, I will post it over there. I usually do an embed over there. But if you can't get an iTunes, just go directly over to Blip. There's also a Blip app that's available that you can watch the podcast in as well. So kind of keep an eye on that. A lot of podcasters are going through the same thing. So we're all in this together. So it's been weeks since I've recorded. The Olympics has started. The snow is flying outside. We have snow. We have a lot of snow. So I'm going to get right into the knitting because everybody's got snow. Everybody's cold. All the people down in Georgia, you know, a few weeks ago getting stuck in cars. That's just crazy. I can't even imagine. So let's get into finished objects since I have one. Not two, but one. This is a sock, as you can see. This is Holiday Yarns, and it's formerly known as Van Kelker Acres. And this is Nora's Oceans, is the colorway. It's a self-striping colorway dyed by, I believe, the daughter, the little, I want to say she's 11 or 12 now. I got this at Rhinebeck a couple of years ago. I believe it's a 75-25 mix between wool and nylon. But you can look that up. This is called, it's Flock Sock Yarn. But it's really pretty. And then I used some reinforcing thread for the toe, so that's why those colors look just a tad different. This is the cuff down heel flap normal 64 stitch sock that I do that works out fine. The reinforcing thread that I got should be in here. I decided I wanted reinforcing thread, so I looked, and Webb's had, I think it's Lang is the brand. I think it was $1.75 or $2 a little spool, and it's a 43-yard spool, and it's a 75-25 mix. So it's a little softer than just using straight nylon in the toes, and I think it's a little less stiff. So that's what I'm using. And then I started on the second one, barely started. You kind of see that. And this is on a Haya fixed circular. I'm magic looping it, but I'm right in the middle now, so there's many ends and odd things. And this is a US size 1, 2.25 millimeter. That's usually what I make all my socks on. And this is living in a bag that I picked up last year from the ladies at the Embraceable You when they were at a like spring fiber festival kind of thing that was at our local Beaver Lake Nature Center. The other thing I have restarted on, and I might have showed this last time, I couldn't remember. This is yarn that I bought many years ago from Knit Picks, and it is Felici fingering in the, there we go, Abracadabra colorway. Excuse, pardon me. It is a little bumpy lumpy because I did not reskein it and smooth it out, but it's 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. It's 218 yards. It's machine washable and tumble dry low. It's a little weird because it's with a superwash. For some reason, this is really, really smooth compared with like the stroll fingering. I think it's because it's the superwash and that kind of seals those cuticles down. But it's okay. It's coming along. And those are on Haya fixed circulars. I'm sorry, the other ones were Haya sharp. The other circular needle is Haya sharp. So the points are a little pointier. This is just regular Haya's 2.25 millimeter. Wowzers. Coughing like a banshee. And then I started an Olympic project, or a Hellenic Games project, as we want to call it. I started knitting during the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, and I've been working on this. There's no way I'm going to get it done during the Olympics. We're into like day, I think it's 9 now, and that's never going to happen, but at least I got to start on something. What I started on was this. It is very large because I'm making the largest size for me, and it's, I'm going to hold that up kind of so you can see it. Those are not cables. Those are slip stitches, believe it or not. If you look at them, you can kind of see they're elongated. They're slip stitches that mimic a cable. And this is a sweater I have made before. I know it fits. I like the feel of it. It works really well. This is the Braids Cardigan by Deb Gamel. It's a cabin fever pattern. Size ranges from 40 to 56, and there's a long and a short version. I'm doing what they call the short version, but I make it the length that I would like, which for me wound up with the last one being, I think, 18.5 or 19 inches from armpit to where I wanted the hem to hit me, because it's kind of a, for me, it's a wraparound sweater. I didn't even put buttonholes in the last one, or I put buttonholes in, but I didn't actually put buttons. There's overlap on it. And the yarn that I'm using for this, I chose yarn that was made in the USA. It's of imported fibers, but whatever. This is Red Heart Kids, and it's in the blue colorway. I believe it's just what it's called, is blue. Yep, blue azul. It's 100% acrylic. I decided I wanted a sweater that I can throw in the washer and the dryer. Now, one of the reasons I had to stop working on this every night was my hands were getting all torn up from the acrylic. If I'm in central New York, it's snowing like crazy. I do have a humidifier, like a small humidifier in my bedroom where I do most of my knitting, which is I watch the computer, Netflix, that sort of thing, and I knit at night, or I'm out watching the Olympics in the living room. But I keep a humidifier going because it's so dry here. We have wood floors all through the house, and it sucks the moisture right out of the air. And when it's winter, it's very dry. So between it being dry with that and the acrylic sucks the moisture right out of my hands. It's like vampire acrylic. And if I'm not careful, it will draw blood. My hands will get so dry that they crack. I've been using a couple of things for that. oh, I'm trying to think. The O'Keeffe's dry hands thing. Where did I put it? I don't know. And then I have Fair Trade shea butter. I went to the natural food section of Wegmans and they had it in there. They had a big tub like this big by that big for, I think, $10. And it was all shea butter, nothing else in it. And it's fair trade. So it was, you know, ethical to purchase kind of thing. The other thing I've been using, they call it, I think, O'Keeffe's Working Hands. That has a lot of glycerin in it. I use that at work because I'm a secretary, as we've talked about, and I handle a lot of paper, because we produce reports when we do a project for a client, and all of that paper has to be scanned. So I'm constantly at the photocopier scanning things. And it takes quite a bit of moisture out of your hands handling paper. And then if I'm coming home, so that's why I'm not doing this every single night, and it's sort of delayed because my hands, especially the ends of my thumbs, started getting really dry. So I kind of switched off onto some wool and other projects. So again, that's a cabin fever pattern, the braids cardigan. Last night, I started on what's going to be a shawl. And I think this is going to be a Rhinebeck shawl. I'm starting on it now because then it will be done and I won't have to worry about making a Rhinebeck sweater or anything. I'll just have a shawl to kind of go over my shoulders and go with that. The yarn that I'm using, 2 of them were spun by the Salt City Fiber Mill that's in Syracuse. If you need fiber spun up, they're really good people to go to. I know them. I think their turnaround time right now is 6 to 8 weeks, but check their website. If you look up Salt City Fiber, you'll come up with them. They've bought a farm, which I haven't been out to. So they're now in Warners, New York, and I believe the mill's moved out to the farm now. So they're really nice people. Therese and Charlie Bishop, who basically started it because that's what they wanted to do, and it just worked out. So go see them, and you will like. They also have some yarns and roving and things like that, but they're really, really nice people. So 2 of these yarns, Therese and Charlie spun. One is theirs. This was early on when Therese, I think they were going to see if they were going to do a really good yarn line. In the summer, they're out at the regional market in Syracuse. They had a booth and sell yarn and I believe some roving too. If you check her Facebook page, there's a picture of what their booth was, I think last summer. This is, and pardon, that's not anything that was hers, that was something from my bag. This is 100% alpaca. It's a sport weight, and it's really, really pretty. I'm going to kind of put it over there. Really, really pretty. Very well spun. It's a chocolate color, which I think is gorgeous. The other one is some spinning that they did, I believe, for Springside Farm that's out in Fabius. They just did 1 batch for them. I don't know that they're going to continue to do that. I think Mrs. Drexler was looking to go another direction with what she was doing. This is 100% alpaca, I believe. It might have a little wool in it, but really nice stuff. And the 2 colors together are really pretty. And then a few years ago, I went to, they call it Alpaca Palooza in Syracuse. And 2 of the things I picked up, they have like a common store where all the vendors basically go and sell product. One of the things they had was fingering weight alpaca. This is actually green. So if you look at all these together, kind of this way, that way. wowzers. Just hold up the skeins of yarn. Okay. That way. That way. And then I also have like a cream color that I'm going to stick in there. That green starts showing up almost black, which is fine. But I think all those will go well. I'm just doing a really simple, you know, shawl with 4 increases every other row, just with a yarn over increase. So there's a central spine. The needles that I started it on last night are Baleen's US size 6, 4mm. And I picked these up. Our local dollar store had some of the baleen needles. They had 6s and I think 15s. And then they had a whole bunch of Susan Bates plastic needles. So if you're in the Syracuse area, Real Deals in Mattydale, down across the street from Denny's, has some knitting needles. They had up to, I think they had 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s in the Susan Bates. They're plastic. They had size 30, 35 for like hairpin lace. They had some Needle Master replacements in size 15 and 6 along like the tips, the replacement tips. And then they also had just some Red Heart Limited Kiss yarn that was from a few years ago. It's kind of like a fluffy furry yarn. Fun fur type of thing, only softer because it's nylon. So the shawl, the alpaca shawl, will be really pretty. I love the way this is striping up. But those are like the fall colors at Rhinebeck. And I'm going back next fall. But I wanted to do something that was really simple. So if like I'm on the bus or something going down, I can curl up with it. Also, I may be doing some sort of vacation with that because my cousin, who's a teacher down in the Hudson Valley area, is getting married. I believe it's the weekend before Rhinebeck, Columbus Day weekend. And so I was thinking of taking the week after off, staying down there for a week, and then just going to Rhinebeck because that would be kind of cool to do. But I've got to see how that's going to work out. That's still one of the busy times at work, so we'll see. And then once I'm rapidly outgrowing the needles, I have a really old number 6. I think it's a silver loom needle. That's a Susan Bates needle that was one of the very first needles I ever used to knit a sweater on. It's a US size 6. And for some reason, even though it's just aluminum or plated or whatever, they go really quickly. The stitches go really quickly, but they don't fall off because of the rigid cable. So that's living in the Tommy Hilfiger garage sale bag that I bought for $2. It's kind of springy, fall-y kind of thing. I'm trying to think what else. I bought yarn. Oh, actually, I have one more project, but I also bought yarn with it. This is a new to me yarn. I haven't seen this before. I believe it's new, that's out on the market. It's called Red Heart Reflective. I started a hat out of it. I'm not sure if this is going to really show up, but if you see those kind of weird little fibers that are in there, that white is actually a reflective fiber. The way they show it in the picture is like this on the ball of yarn. This is the same headband cowl type of thing. The dark one is without flash. This is with flash to mimic how it would reflect. So if, say you're a jogger or a runner who's out in the early morning and you want something reflective but you want it to be warm, maybe you put this on and it's reflective. But one of the things they're trying to do through social media is have people take pictures of it with their flash on their camera and light it up. So that's kind of what you get, but it's reflective rather than glow in the dark. Bernat had come out with a glow-in-the-dark fiber a few years ago, and it was okay, but I mean, obviously it's not going to reflect all the time. This is actually reflective, and the fiber is supposed to be quite good. So you get 88 yards of that. I bought it with a coupon at Joann's in Syracuse for 50% off. And I think I ended up paying like $3 or $4 for it, maybe $3.50. So it must retail for about $7.50 a skein. But if you were going to use it for just that purpose, it's a specialized yarn, and I can see why it would retail for that. I'm just doing a really plain. It's a bulky yarn. It's a US 5. I'm doing it on, or it's a 5 on the yarn standards, what you would call bulky or chunky. I'm doing it on a US size 6, but again, I knit very, very loosely, so that's why I went down to this size. And then I'm doing this for the brim of a ski hat that's going to fold back. Once the brim folds back, I'm going to use this, which is Red Heart. No, this is Patents Wool, Classic Wool Bulky. It's also a 5. This is something that Joann's had. I haven't seen this anyplace else. The Classic Wool Bulky. It's not roving. It's actually plied. But I don't know whether that's a new product they're introducing, whether it's just something that Joann's has. I have no idea. So that is going to be a kind of a cool hat. Went shopping last night with a friend of mine. We were just going to the yarn store to look at stuff after we ran a couple errands, and I came across a couple of new yarns. We went to AC Moore, and I came across this, which is the Premier Yarns. It's called Spice Shop, and it is, the colorway is Larkspur. It's 110 yards. Yeah, 110 yards, 100 meters. This is a super bulky yarn. To me, this looks exactly like homespun. It's almost the exact same colors even. I bought one ball because there is a pattern for like a little beret hat on there. So I'm going to see if I can make that with it. It's kind of cute. I thought that would be a good gift for next year. And then I bought, they had a 2-day sale on Starbella yarns. I think it was like 3 for $10 or something like that. So what I got was this, which is, it looks like it's black. It's not. It's orange and blue. Did I mention I live near Syracuse? And as everybody knows right now, as of this recording, Syracuse has an undefeated season so far. They're pulling it out for like the last few seconds for the last couple of games. They beat Duke with Tyler Ennis making a really amazing basket. And then this last one last night, I think it was NC State was who we played. We've joined the ACC, and that's something new for us. So we're playing interesting teams. I'm not sure when the next game is. I don't follow the basketball that closely, but I've got a friend who's going to games and stuff like that, and I thought that would be, I think it'd be kind of cute. It's a really simple, you just make, it's a chain thing. Let's see, where's the edge? The edge is up here. So you actually do through each little loop or every other loop, and you make a scarf. There's a QR code to link you to patterns and stuff, or you can just go to Premier Yarn's website. There's also a, yeah, it says the one ball pattern is online. If you're doing this, use wooden needles, or definitely, I would try wooden needles. You can also crochet this as well. The problem that I find with it is I have to sit down and do the entire scarf in one sitting. Otherwise, if something falls off the needle, you practically got to rip it out, and I really don't like doing that. The other yarn that I got was because they did not have a maroon and white stripe. So I got solids of the Starbella in maroon and white. My local high school is maroon and white are their colors. I go to like their marching band competitions in the fall and stuff like that. So I'm probably going to do this for me. And then my class, my high school class, is having the 25th high school reunion this summer. So if it might be cheesy, but I might do this. I might wear that. We'll see. I bought a couple of things. I can't remember if I showed these or not. If I did skip past this part, I bought a book that's called Knit Prayer Shawls. It was on sale, 15 wraps to share. And this is by, oh, it's a Leisure Arts publication. It's spiral bound. Some of them are but just, I mean, it ranges from really simple, that's just yarn overs, to something a little more complicated. That's using Noro Silk Garden with a little lace pattern. There's cable wrap. Where was the one that I like? This is the one that I like, that's by Lisa Gentry. It's a feathered fan variation that's really pretty. But I like this again because it lays flat with that spiral binding. The other thing I bought was a Bernat Super Value Then and Now. And what they did was show the projects that were probably done back in the late 60s, early 70s. So some of these photos are kind of amusing. There's jackets and other things like that. This is the, let me try and cover that up just bad. That's the photo from the 70s. This is the modern take on it in modern yarns using Bernat Super Value 100% acrylic. So you can see it's fringelicious, basically. One of the jackets I was interested in was this one, which is like a ski jacket. This is the 70s picture. This is the modern take on it. So different colors and not so high, you're the color of your appliances. That whole shag green, bizarre kind of a thing. So there's all kinds of things in it, and really cute, like some Afghans and stuff like that. They took that bold patterning. This is actually a solid version of that. So really simple. And then the other thing that came this week, maybe last week, was, I haven't ordered from them in a while, the Pattern Works catalog. And there were, you know, the usual suspects of different things that were in there. One of the things that is out is the Cambio cowl. This is a Lord Nelkin kit. She's based out of Ithaca, and this is using Freya ombre yarn and Jill Draper Makes Stuff Esopus yarn. But it makes a really cute cowl. It's got like some stitches on there that travel. But that Freya yarn right here is the one that changes color, and then the Jill Draper Makes Stuff is the solid. Really pretty, really nice. So if you like that, you can order it. You can also order it directly from Laura Nelkin, I believe, from her website. I think it's Nelkin Designs, maybe. But check that out. You can definitely find her on Ravelry and find the link. The other thing that I thought was kind of interesting was something small that they had that I've never seen before. They have locking ring markers. I'm going to put that way up. Okay. These things. This was interesting to me. It's a locking ring marker, but then it also has a clip on it, so you can put on a little note. And basically what you can do is if you leave, you know, you're doing, say, raglan decreases, and you don't know what row you're on or what stitch count you're on, you can leave yourself a little note when you fold up the project and put it in your project bag. And these run $5.99 for a set of 6 markers and 24 perforated blank notes, which you could probably just use a scrap of paper or Post-its or something and clip it in there. But I thought that was kind of a neat idea. I had never seen that before. So there's all kinds of stuff. I love to see things like this and see what the new yarns are, even though I'm probably not going to buy all of them. I don't buy a lot of spring yarns. If I do, it's a blend usually. So I think that's all I've got this week. Projects, and more projects. And so I hope you guys have a great week and go knit something and go check out the podcast group if you're interested in seeing what other people are working on. Also, if you're on iTunes, leave an iTunes rating for me or leave a review that makes the podcast pop up for people who are looking for it. So have a great week, guys. Bye.